Hi, my name is Nancy Tan. I'm an American married to a Malaysian, and we've been living back in my husband's country for over 27 years now, doing tent making. We are actually on the continent of Borneo, which is made up partly of East Malaysia. I've been loosely affiliated with Abiding Life since around 2012. This message from me is on Count It All Joy from James chapter 1. The Lord commands us believers in James 1, verse 2 to 4, to consider it pure joy or all joy whenever we face trials of many kinds, because we know that the testing of our faith develops perseverance. And perseverance must finish its work so that we may be mature and complete, not lacking in anything. One important point here. Verse 2 says, when we face trials, not if. It's a sure thing. In our life here on earth, we will face trials of many kinds. But here are 5 significant reasons to count them all joy when we do face them. First, this counting them all joy is God's command. It's his command, not his suggestion. See, obedience is to make us happy. God is already happy. So this is something God insists upon. Secondly, in Isaiah 55, God tells us, my thoughts are nothing like your thoughts, and my ways are far beyond anything you can imagine. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts higher than your thoughts. Now, exactly how high are the heavens from the earth? Just what kind of gap between God's ways and our ways are we looking at here? Well, the distance between where our brain sits on our shoulders and the outer edge of the known universe is touted as 30 billion light years away. A light year being the distance light travels in a year. This then is the distance, at least, between God's ways and our ways, his thoughts and our thoughts, a distance of at least 30 billion light years. It may have been Brother Mike who told the true story of a U.S. astronaut who, though the most qualified for a space shuttle mission, was eliminated from it because his application got lost in the mail. No amount of reasoning, pleading, or prayer restored him to eligibility. All his years of training seemingly for nothing. On the day the satellite launched, his wife was watching it on TV from their bedroom, just furious with God. That should be my husband on board, she muttered, at which point the space shuttle exploded in midair, bursting into flames before her eyes. All 7 on board died. Does God know more than we do with our finite pea brains? Thirdly, considering our challenges and trials as a joy instead of grumbling can bring a minor or even a major breakthrough in our circumstances. Indeed, having this heart attitude of gratitude jet sets us into God's presence and into his perspective. Once in his presence, we will experience that peace which passes all understanding and guards our hearts and minds, per Philippians chapter 4. Further, in God's presence, our problems may no longer be needed, since transporting us into God's presence is a major reason God allows a problem in the first place. I have a couple of personal testimonies about this toward the end of this message. Fourthly, counting it all joy will bring us deeper spiritual maturity. Indeed, any trial in our lives do contain opportunities for advancement. Negative situations in our lives, as God's kids, have upgrades attached to them, leading us to becoming mature and complete, not lacking in anything, per verse 4 of our text. Truly, can we get to any better earthly state than not lacking in anything? This is similar to Apostle Paul's learning to be content in whatever situation he was in, which is also in Philippians chapter 4. Literally, we should be calling up our friends with, guess what? Rejoice with me. I've got a trial. It's like my birthday. I may be getting a promotion. And our friends should be responding, hey, buddy. Hey, girlfriend, I'm so jealous. Indeed, there's only one thought we should be having in every trial, and that's the one Jesus is having about it. Ask the Lord to help you in this. Tell him you want the same attitude about your trial that he has. Invite him to give you his mindset, his perspective. See, God foresees how a certain trial will sanctify us, an answer to our persistent prayers for Christ likeness. Consider these two verses. 1 Peter 4, verse 1, since Christ suffered in his body, arm yourselves also with the same attitude, because whoever suffers in the body is done with sin. Proverbs 20:30, beatings that hurt clean away sin, and beatings make even the inside parts clean. Or in the Good News Bible, sometimes it takes a painful experience to make us change our ways. Lastly, the joy of the Lord is essential because Satan thrives on the opposite. As author Michael Brown writes, Satan thrives in an atmosphere of fear and intimidation, and fear always points to something bad in the future. Fear torments us with negative thoughts about our future. And how do we fight these? How do we fight lies we can't prove are lies? That's where we need confidence in the goodness of God. And there's no better place to get that than in the joy of the Lord. Psalm 16:11 declares, in God's presence is fullness of joy. And Nehemiah 8:10 says, the joy of the Lord is our strength. The joy of the Lord drives out fear, which always prophesies failure to us. God's joy gives us a glimpse of what he has in store for us, and it is glorious beyond words. Again, consider it all joy whenever you face trials of many kinds. Please note the wording here. It's consider it, or count it, or in Greek, reckon it, not feel. This word choice indicates this is something we can control. As with forgiveness, we don't wait for our feelings to feel like forgiving, or we could be waiting forever. No, we rule, we govern in the decision with our will to forgive, because again, our will is something we can control. Our feelings follow along after that, just like a caboose. The last car on a train follows the engine. So considering, calculating, being resolved, deeming that something hard will be good for us is an intentional, willful decision. Again, we're not to wait for our feelings to become warm and fuzzy all over because we're going through a hurtful trial. That would just be weird. Instead, we are to decide with our will to obey God's command. God knows why he tells us what he tells us. We do not. Hence, we say to ourselves, this is going to be joy. It's going to bring a lot of good in the end. Therefore, I will receive this trial as a blessing. So, a couple of short testimonies. My first opportunity to put this into practice came the very morning after I first taught this in my James Bible study. I was dropped off at our local airport en route to a dental appointment in our state's capital we call KK. It was then I discovered I had forgotten my passport or any type of ID. I also had the wrong flight confirmation number. On top of that, I couldn't get anyone on the phone. Suddenly, I remembered these count it all joy verses from James. So I prayed, well, thank you, Lord. I guess you don't want me flying to KK today. Hmm, maybe I'll just kick back, watch some TV, eat some ice cream. Immediately, the Lord said to me, not so fast, Nancy. Watch me work. Due to time, I'll skip the list of minor miracles the Lord pulled off before my eyes, but I can truthfully testify that exactly 10 minutes from hearing God's voice, after I thanked Him, I was through all the boarding hoops and at the gate waiting for my KK flight with time to spare. My second testimony is another airport miracle. My husband was flying with me to visit my aging mother in the United States. But due to COVID, Malaysia was demanding a special exit visa from him. The one my husband got the day before we left was stamped rejected. My husband decided to just ignore it. However, at the airport immigration, my husband was promptly informed, there is no way you are leaving Malaysia. After 80 minutes of trying every tactic we could think of, including prayer, and hearing only, what part of no don't you understand? I finally gave up. I looked up to heaven and sighed, well, Lord, I surrender. I give in. You must have a better plan. So I'm just going to thank you and count this all joy. The very next thing I knew Miss Immigration VIP was telling my husband, I'm trying to help you here. Huh? She's trying to help us? Well, now that's interesting. Then I heard her say, Mr. Tan, I'm going to let you through this time, but take this as a warning. Don't you ever try this again. There was another minor miracle. So, question, is there any present trial in your life where you need to adjust your attitude or perspective and make the conscious commitment to consider it all joy? Please do so. Thank God instead of grumbling, and then note down what happens. I believe you'll be in for a very big surprise. Thank you for listening.